during the whatchamacallit, we will go ahead and we'll talk about this and do this as we go through your behind the wheels. Okay. So by the time we get you to your test date, ready for your test, you will be a-okay. All right, got you. All right. So you're gonna go ahead and drive past the driveway or alleyway, okay, to a reference point. You'll again be required to back your vehicle into the designated area, the right wheel until your vehicle's clears the front of a set of cones. You'll have 3 minutes to complete this. And again, this is the 1, 2, 3 process. If you follow a 1, 2, 3 process by doing this, it becomes a whole lot easier. You try to wing it and just wee free willy it, you're gonna be hitting something. So everything you're doing, when you do these maneuvers, a K turn, with a U turn, a forward U turn, when you left turn, right turn, you're backing into a space, whether it's left or right, you're pulling into a space, okay? It's all about a 1, 2, 3 process. And as long as you're doing a 1, 2, 3 process, you'll have it. If you're pulling far and you're hitting the curb, you're not following 1, 2, 3 process. All right? The little things, that's what it adds up to be. All right? And when you exit, you'll be exit to the right. So you back to the left, pull forward to the right. All right? You'll be evaluated on for your MBA test, your backing skills, your visual skills, judgment of space, use of mirrors and turn signals, steering, braking, accelerating control, and general driving skills. If in the pandemic right now, we are still in a closed course situation, and the examiners are not in the car with you. So they're still assessing these things, and I keep telling people, you're on the clock until they say you've passed. So you go out there, you blow by a stop sign, and you go to the parking lot, you hit something or slam your brakes on and do something crazy, you just failed your test. So you have to understand, from the moment they get to you in that car, and the moment you get out with the key in your hand, you go to the examiner, you're on the clock. You walk away, leave the key in the car, fail. Okay? The space is 20 feet deep, 10 feet wide. 16 or 20 feet deep. All right? Now, turning around left side. Before making a turn, again, you're going to search, evaluate, execute, communicate, put your blinker on, let people know what you're going to do. As well as your communication tool of your blinker, your position, your behavior is going to, again, it's going to communicate what's acceptable. Okay? What can happen? Miss Loretta. Well, I'm almost picking on Miss Loretta. Picking on camera. Yudi. Yeah. All right? Yudi, you know when it's acceptable to be approached by somebody. You know when it's appropriate for me to approach you. Okay? If I'm approaching you and walking up to Yudi, if she's on the phone or she's animated and upset, this is not the time for stranger talk. Okay? It's just unless I'm lost and I really need help, I really don't need to be bothering Yudi. Me walking up to Yudi and throwing some one-liner is not going to work at this point in time. I'm about to get slapped. Right, Yudi? All right? And Yudi's not a violent person, but if she's got, drama going on and I'm walking up there, hey, shawty, this ain't a good time for that. Okay? Those of us who have relationships, are married, Miss Loretta, her husband, Francisco, with his wife, okay? Understand. We understand married life. This time you just exit stage left. You just abort, don't say what was on your mind. Forget about it. Okay? I don't care if the water's getting turned off. As long as nothing's on fire, I shut up. They'll figure it out. I don't want to be the one, honey, the water's turned off. But what are you going to say? Hey, okay, don't get you okay. See, just like my boss. See, everything that's going on in that world right there comes straight to you. Just saying. Driving's no different. Okay? Bring all that energy, bring all that's wrong to you. Okay? Now, you're going to stay with your attentions, make small gradual movements, continue to check the mirrors as you maneuver, look around consistently, all right? Once your turn is complete, return to appropriate lane position. All right? Position is key. All right, notice. He's got the position, pulls in, off the driveway. He stops. He's going to put his signal on, indicator on. He looks around. He slowly moves backwards, steers the car out. Okay? He gets out to the road, gets parallel. Boom. Now, what he did there was incorrect, though. Look at his seat position. He had used the hand behind the turn his body. He's not supposed to do that because he's turning. He's supposed to keep his body straight, use his mirrors, and his backup camera, that system. If he doesn't have a backup camera, he just uses his mirrors in his window. Okay? So that's the only problem with that video that I have. Okay? Now, in review, Unit 5. Yay! Unit 5 review! Somebody gotta be happy right now. Thank you, Samantha. Thank you. She testified with us. She testified with me. Yeah, girl. We in church tonight. Okay? What are some of the significant risk groups a driver encounters in neighborhoods? Well, you got what? You got pedestrians, you got joggers, you got bicyclists, animals and pedestrians, especially children, are spontaneous and categorically just telling you, it is not. You wait for a child or an animal, they will ruin your day. All right. When does a driver? And by the way, in the neighborhoods, I point out to everybody, you have everything at some point in time. You got the moving truck, you got the delivery truck for the roof materials, for the home private construction jobs. You got the DHL, FedEx, UPS, Amazon. You got everybody delivering stuff. You got DoorDash. You got the pizza guy. You got the children playing in the streets and off the streets. You got the pets. You got the wild animals. You got the joggers. You got people walking. You got for purpose. You got people who just walk. Some people choose to walk in the middle of the road in residential. I don't understand why, but you have all this going on in a residential neighborhood at some point in time. Okay? When is driving you stop for a school bus? When you're behind the bus and it puts on its red lights, you stop. They said minimum 20 feet away. I'm telling you, it's just like a turn. You start that thing 100 feet, glide in so you can see what's happening. If there's a bunch of teenagers like yourself on the bus, yeah, I can go up about 20, 30 feet. I feel safe doing that. I see the little kids, elementary school getting on the bus. I'm further back. Why? I need to see under the bus. I need to see around the bus because I need to see those little kids. As Francisco said tonight, he has a 10-year-old, and you said it was an 8-year-old or 6-year-old? 4-year-old. My 4-year-old. Oh, yeah. See, Francisco's right in that wheelhouse at 4 years old. His daughter is running him crazy. Why? The attention span is it's not existent. So Francisco knows exactly what I'm talking about. This is between 4 and 10. At 4 years old, he's got to watch his daughter every moment of the day. Okay? At 10 years old, yeah, you get a little leeway. A little bit of rope. You just make sure you come back here. 4 years old, Daddy, why? You ain't ignoring me. Then beeline. Whoa, where you going? Trust me. Mine is, Francisco, mine are 19 and 18 now. God bless me, Lord. I cannot go back to this sidebar. I used to work with a dude. He had a young lady pregnant, out of wedlock, told him a story. But here's why I tell you this. He was 55, having a baby with a 20-year-old woman. There's no way at 55 will have a baby. No way. Some of you are like 20 years old. And Francisco is, I'm going to just jump out there. He about 25, okay? He got a 4-year-old baby. Man, guess what? Francisco right now looking at this and like, man, maybe I should have waited. Maybe it shouldn't happen. It has nothing to do with whether he loves his child or not. It has everything to do with this child is wearing his behind out.
Yeah.
Miss Loretta knows exactly what I'm talking. She on the other side, she's like, oh, my grown, they gonna do their thing, leave me alone.
Yes.
It is not her being mean. She loves her kid, but she put her time in. She's like, no, baby. You do you, leave me alone.
Right.
Miss Loretta?
Correct.
See? So, yeah, it is stages of life. That's what we're doing, all right? Now, in the school zone, how far you feel cyclist? 3 feet. Okay? How far from park car? 3 feet. NBA loves to say over and over again. All right? In the school zone, when might the driver need to stop? Crossing guard. Okay? What are some of the risks of making a right turn? You have all this traffic to the left. All your visual cues, all your risk and dangers to the left. You look to your right, you've got a curb, you got a sidewalk. As long as you take care of that, you're good. First thing is always to make sure signage. What signs do I see? That's what I'm gonna do. All right. Now, what are some of the risks of making a left turn? Yeah, you have risks on both left and right side of the car. Look left and right and be vigilant about looking left and right until you're safely across the road. Pedestrians, oncoming cars in the travel lane. You got the right side with bicycles and traffic. You got people, Johnny Rocket, who just comes flying out of nowhere. Think what Johnny Rocket is. he is speeding. He does not care about any of the law. Red lights, nah, not exist to him. So you gotta look out for these people, okay? When a driver gets a stop at a stop sign with no stop line, well, if you don't have a stop line, where are you gonna stop? That's what they're asking. If you have an intersection and you have a stop sign but no stop line, where do you stop? And what did I tell you was the answer?
In front of the bumper at the beginning of the bumper.
The bumper is not the intersection, and you can cross-reference that with looking left and right. As long as you're trapping left and right, you're in a good position to stop. So that's how you can double check yourself. They just said make sure your front bumper's not the intersection. But the way to double check yourself, Miss Loretta, is to look left and right. As long as you see traffic, you're good. So the stop sign is not a point of reference to stop. It just tells you to stop. Okay? You look and make sure you don't have a crosswalk that's activated by pedestrians or a sign. You're looking for make sure it's oncoming traffic. Is there a stop line? Those are the things you're looking for. Okay? What should a driver need to do when they get to a speed bump? And the universal answer is
slow down.
There you go. Reduce speed, slow down. Okay? Pardon me. Okay? As you go to the next one, how should you avoid risking a pothole? There are 3 things you're looking for. Who can tell me what they are?
The weather, for one.
Well,
isn't there any oncoming vehicles? Because sometimes you have to swerve or like drive over the potholes.
Well, no. If you're driving over the potholes, you got poor planning. If someone goes into your lane, you just want to slow down, come to a stop, let them, or you want to go to the right side of the road. Which means if you go into the pothole, go into the pothole, because the priority is to avoid oncoming accident. Okay. So you're looking for weather. Why are you looking for weather? Because weather, if it
go ahead.
I was just saying that the weather can make it worse.
Well, it makes it worse by hiding it. Because
right.
when it comes, you have water, puddles of water. The puddle of water will hide the pothole. Yeah. So the existence of water is going to be a problem, and weather will tell you where and how that water got there. You see what I'm saying? So you see ahead, you know that either the storm is coming or the storm has already come through. And the third one is to use other people's information. Okay? I use other people's information. Unfortunately, young ladies, you guys are on top of that. You know, Cameron and Kayla and Daphne, you know, you guys can talk to each other and get the information way before us young men can. We look kind of flying in the wind. Y'all know, girl, I wouldn't do that if I was you. Y'all got a game plan. We just poured your side, ain't got a chance. You walk up to the chopping block. All right? So now, describe the rules for entering and exiting a roundabout. Okay? When you enter and exit a roundabout, what are we doing here?
Well, first of all, there's yield signs that you need to watch out for, but also when you're entering a roundabout, you don't need to have your turn signal on, but legally you have to have your turn signal on when you're exiting a roundabout.
Okay.
But you also need to stay in your lane.
There you go. So it's about pre-planning position, and Samantha, along with what you just said. Now realize the NBA says it's a good idea to put your blinker on ahead of time. But by law, it says, hey, when you exit, you must put your blinker on. So that's how you determine those 2 things. NBA says it's a nice idea to do it, but by law, Maryland law states you must put your blinker on when you exit. Okay? So that's going to be the deciding factor right there. Okay? And let me see. What do you think is the riskiest aspect of neighborhood driving?
Pedestrian, kids, dogs, traffic, everything.
Oh, come on, keep talking to me.
I
You said the question.
The pedestrians and the pets and the different risk groups that are more predisposed to making erratic and like chaotic movements are definitely the riskiest part.
And like you said earlier, I think about the FedEx trucks, the vans, you know, Amazon, everything that is parked out there. So it's a lot of risk.
So you realize, and this is what I want to point out to you in the neighborhood. Right now, when you get your permit, you start driving. I encourage everybody to. You want to do most of your driving in the neighborhood and coming out of the neighborhood. You want to go to McDonald's. You want to go to Target and come back home. The reason is this type of driving has the most information to process at a steady pace. Once you get used to neighborhood driving, like Mr. Reyes said, now you got these the Amazon trucks, they drive like the Civics, and they just going around and sweeping and bobbing and weaving. You got FedEx and stuff driving off. You have all these things happening in neighborhoods. So the neighborhood's a lot of information. By the time, if you tell me, oh, Mr. Ming, I'm good at the highway, man, I got the highway, man, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to push back and say, well, you know what? I think you're not as good on the highway as you think you are. Because if you haven't mastered the residential driving, your processing speed from your eyes to your brain is worked at your residential driving. So when you get good at your residential driving, you're using the same processing speed on the highway. If you get lulled into the highway because there's more space at a faster pace, you'll miss information, but it doesn't hurt you because there's less information to process. Now, because you're higher speed, you make a mistake, there's a more serious consequence. That's how that translates. So if I get Francisco, he can be in the cab, has girls in his car, he can look out his windshield in his windows. He can see the children, he can see the joggers, he can see pedestrians, he sees the dogs walking, he sees the deer going through the bushes, he sees the moving truck, he sees the delivery truck, he sees the fire hydrant, he sees the door open in the house, he sees the garage door open, he sees the guy backing out, he sees the guy pushing up behind him. All this information is residential. As he's got a distraction in his car, which is his daughter's, guess what? He's processing that and handling all that information at the same time. That's when Francisco knows he's got it. If Francisco loses one bit of that information, his processing speed isn't there yet. And that's why I say residential driving is the key here. Okay? So good job tonight. I thank everybody for hanging in there with me. As usual, you all done a bang-up job. Some of you don't want to smile because you don't want to put your cameras on, and I'm going to get you on that on Monday. So, yeah, I'm going to get on some people here. Yeah, because I don't see no smiling faces. I'm going to get the bad moves and doing smiling. All right? Now, in 2 seconds, I'm going to allow you all to go take your quiz. All right, you can go ahead and get in. If you have any problems signing in, just let me know. But you should be able to get into your quiz about now.
Bình tĩnh.